Okay, in this video we're going to look at how to heat something in a crucible. Two reasons why you'd want to do this. One is that you want to actually take a solution and boil off the liquid and be left with a solid, or you want to just combine some things and provide the high temperature that's necessary for a reaction to occur. Alright, so before you use a crucible you want to do a few things. This is a fire lab, so you want to push your stool in. This is going to be stand up. You want to have goggles, an apron, a pair of hot gloves, and you want to have your hair tied back. You should gather all the materials before you begin. So some things you'll need is you need a ring stand with a small ring on it. You need a Bunsen burner. You need one of these wire meshes that has the ceramic center. You'll find it just to the right, the drawer just to the right of the fume hood. You want a clay triangle, which you'll also find in that same drawer to the right of the fume hood. You want matches to start the Bunsen burner. And in the drawer between bench 2 and 3 you will find crucibles and lids, and on the other drawer, between same two benches, you will find a watch glass. Make sure when you get your crucible that you get one that is big enough to hold your sample and that you have a lid that fits it. Okay, the other thing you need are these crucible tongs, which you will either find, they're the ones that are curvy like this. You will either find those in your top bench drawer. If they're not there, you can find them in the drawer that's just to the left of the safety goggles. What you want to do is make sure you have a pair that close nicely here, and you want to practice, before the crucible gets hot, you want to practice both holding the lid and holding the crucible and moving them with the tongs. You need to be comfortable doing that before you light your burner. If you are heating a solution and trying to drive off the water or the solvent, chances are you are trying to figure out the mass of what you have left. In order to do that, make sure you find the mass of the crucible empty with nothing in it and the lid on top before you put anything in it. Okay, so this is what your setup looks like. You have your ring stand set up. You put your clay triangle right on top of that ring, and then you rest your crucible on top of the clay triangle. You want to put your substance in here, and then you want to leave just a little gap here so that any vapors can get out. You want to have your Bunsen burner be about an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches from the bottom of your crucible. Okay, so it's hard to see here, but there's actually a flame here, and what you want is the tip of the inner blue cone to be touching the bottom of the crucible. And you don't want to have a lot of height here in your flame, because that flame will move around with any air movement. So you want it to be a pretty small area. And the way you adjust that is you adjust the ring on the ring stand with this screw. But you need to have a pair of gloves on to do that so that you don't get burnt, because this gets very hot if you're doing this once the fire has started. Okay, so once you have heated your substance and all of the liquid is gone, you want to let it cool for a minute probably a good minute on the clay triangle. Once you think it's cool, and you can tell if you bring your hand close to it and you don't feel the heat, you can take it off. So you want to take the lid off with the crucible tongs, and you want to take the crucible off, and I would put them right on a watch glass, because now you can carry that watch glass over to the balance. You want to make sure you do not put a hot crucible on a balance, because it will cause this pan to warp. Okay? You also want to avoid touching the crucible, because just the oils from your fingers can change the mass. So once you've taken the mass, you want to the initial mass, you want to handle the crucible with just the tongs, not with your hands. So you find your final mass, and of course the difference is going to be the mass of the solid that was in your initial sample. Okay, and then you clean up, and that's going to do it.